Hey guys, it's your boy Rugby League Roundup back here with another episode of the Beyond the Tryline podcast. Today is episode 35 and I'm doing my round 25 tipping. Make sure to like and subscribe. The goal is 2,000 subscribers by the end of the regular season. Without further ado, let's get into the video and the tips. We start with Thursday night where the Melbourne Storm are taking on the Penrith Panthers. Let's have a run through the two team lists. So for Melbourne, the big ins are Harry Grant here and Jack Howarth, but the team is Sua Falongo, Sialagi Brown, Jack Howarth, Nick Meaney, Moses Leo, Cameron Munster, Trent Toliar, Stefano Utoikamanu, Harry Grant, Josh King, Sean Bloor, Oren Keeley, Trent Loiero, Tyron Wisher, Alec McDonald, Angus Hinchy, Cooper Clark, Joe Chan, and Jack Hetherington. Reserves Hayden Watson and coach Craig Bellamy. For Penrith, though, team is Dylan Edwards, Thomas Jenkins, Isaac Tungle, Casey McLean, Brian To'o, Jack Hoggar, Nathan Cleary, Moses Leota, Freddie Lussick, Liam Henry, Isaiah Papali'i, Liam Martin, Lindsay Smith, Billy Scott, Scott Sorensen, Luron Pateo, Billy Phillips, Jack Cole, and Blaze Talangi. The reserve is Luke Gardner, and the coach is Ivan Cleary for the Panthers. Now, for Penrith, they will be looking to respond in a big way after two losses in a row. They'll definitely be frustrated and looking to get back into the winning column with this game. For Storm, they're coming fresh right off a bye, playing at home in front of the Melbourne crowd, and they'll be hungry to put a dent in Penrith's premiership chances. Harry Grant is also back from his injury, which is good to see, and he'll be vital for Melbourne towards their end of the season. For my prediction, though, I'm going to go Panthers to win 24 points to 18. I think it'll be a close game. Storm will give Panthers lots of work to do, but in this one, I just think Penrith will be too good in the end, and I think that Brian To'o and Thomas Jenkins will both score tries. Let's move on to Friday, 6 p.m., where the Raiders take on the Brisbane Broncos, and it's at GIO Stadium or Papa's house because it's Josh Papali'i's last game in the Raiders jersey at home. Let's run through the teams here. Let's run through Raiders first. KO Weeks at fullback, Jed Stewart and Xavier Savage on the wing, Simi and Matt Tomoko in the centres, Strange and Ethan Sanders the halves, Josh Papali'i and Joseph Tarpany the front row pairing, Owen Paddy hooker, Zach Hosking, Matty Nicholson and Ata Mariota are the back row pairing. Tom Starling, Joe Roddy, Corey Horsburgh, Dane Laurie, Venna Case, Saf Tamale is the bench. Kobe Black, Seb Chris, Jaden Brayley are the reserves, and Ricky Stewart the coach. For Broncos, Reece Walsh is out for the season. Mean Hayes Parham comes in at fullback. Josiah Karapani on the wing with Grant Anderson, Tony Staggs and Dean Mariner in the centres. Ezra Mam and Ben Hunt the halves. Xavier Willis and Payne Haas the front rowers. Billy Walters hooker, Jaden Hunt and Jordan Ricky in the second row, Patrick Carrigan the lock forward. The bench is Blake Moser, Orblix Tauha, Jack Gazewski, Va'a Semu, Thomas Duffy, and Gemmet Shibasaki. Reserves Ben Talty, Jesse Arthurs, Luke Gale, and the coach Michael Maguire. So for Raiders, they're coming off a strong win at Shark Park, beating Sharks by 4 in a close game where Joseph Tarpany, the captain, won the game with a try and had a real captain's knockout there. And I thought Raiders showed lots of positive attitude in that game against the Sharks. The Broncos, though, been very poor as of recent. They lost by 34 against the New Zealand Warriors. There's not much more for me to say other than that scoreline, just to feel a little bit of disappointment in the Broncos season this year. I'm going to go with the Raiders to win 32 points to 14. And I think Josh Papali is going to score in this game for the Raiders. There's not much more for me to say about that game, though. And I do think that, I do think Raiders will come away with this game, with the winner in this game. Other than that, though, there's not much to talk about in terms of that game. Friday, 8 p.m., though, Dolphins do take on the Parramatta Eels. And let's run through the team list in this game for Dolphins against Eels. Dolphins at fullback will have their guy Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, wingers Jermaine and Selwyn Cobbo, centers Bostock and Herbie, halves Cody Nicarima and Isaiah Katoa, front row pairing Thomas Flegler and Tom Gilbert, hooker Jeremy Marshall King, back row Max Plath, Kuli Kefi, Finu Fuiaki, and Morgan Knowles, the lock forward. Bench is Ray Stone, Molo Kafusi, Brian Puniu, Bradley Schneider, Jake Averillo, and reserves are Tavita Nafahu, John Finian Naganofo, and Sam Elliott. Coach is Christian Wolf. For Parramatta, Upper Tweedle back at fullback, retaining his spot after a good performance. Brian Kelly and Josh Adokar are the wingers in this game. Will Penasini and Jordan Samrani are the centre pairings. Halves, Volkman and Mitchell Moses. Front rowers, Luca Moretti and Junior Paulo. Talon De Silva's the hooker. Jack Williams is the back rower, as well as Kition Kartonga. Jack DeBellin, the lock forward. Harrison Edwards, Saxon Pryke, T. Brown, Josiah Fanua, Sean Russell, Kelma Tuolangi are the bench players, and Araz Nanvar, Ryder Talangi, Riley Smith are the reserves. Jason Riles is the Parramatta Eels coach. Dolphins have been in some pretty good form recently, winning 22-0 last week against the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles in what was a good defensive display from the side. And they did put in an attacking masterclass comeback from 24-0 down against the Broncos to end up winning that game 42-30 2 weeks ago. Whereas Eels off the back of a win against the top 8 team in the Cowboys, and they seem to play really well in that game. I'm looking forward to seeing the likes of Jordan Samrani, Talon De Silva, Arpa Twaddle in this sort of game. Even Saxon Pryke, who's got a lot of potential for Parramatta. There's lots to look forward to in that team, and yeah, it's going to be good to see. But in this game, I'm going to go with Dolphins to win 38 points to 16. I just think the Finns will be too strong in this game, and yeah, I'm going to go Dolphins to win by that margin, and Selwyn Cobbo and Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow to score a try in this game. Super Saturday time, where we kick off with the Knights in the Hunter taking on the Manly Sea Eagles. And let's talk about the Knights, because we'll go through the team list here and I'll just explain something after that. In the side, Kalen Ponga fullback, Young and Marzu the wingers, Fletcher Hunt and Bradman Best in the centres, Fletcher Sharp and Sandon Smith are the halves, Jacob Saifidi, Trey Mooney, the front row pairing, Phoenix Crossland at hooker, Jermaine McEwen and Tyson Frizzell are the back rowers, Matt Croker, the lock forward, and the bench is Harrison Graham, Cody Hopwood, Lachlan Crouch, Thomas Cart, Pasami Solo, Toby Windsor, and reserves Diesel Hagen, Kyle McCarthy, and Elijah Lue Moana. Now, Francis Manule Lua is out, and so is Dane Gagai, which are both big losses. But for Manly, they get Tom Trebojevic back, starting at fullback this weekend. Jason Saab and Lehigh Hopawade on the wings. Tolu Kula and Ruben Garrick in the centres. Clayton Falolo, the 5'8", Joey Walsh dropped from the side. Jamal Fogarty in the halfback role. Simeon Laiafi and Nathan Brown in the front rows. Brandon Wakeham at hooker. Homoli Olakawatu and Ben Trebojevic in the back row. And Jake Trebojevic, the lock forward. Bench is Jake Simpkin, Nicholas Lanars, Corey Waddell, Caleb Navale, who's back from that ACL injury, Josh Felity and Fletcher Baker. The reserves, Onatoni Large, Jackson Sherritt, Blake Wilson, and the coach, Kieran Foran. Now, let's talk about the Knights, because they, without Dylan Brown and Dylan Lucas, have been absolutely remarkable to watch this season. And I'm going to give big credit to Justin Holbrook in every episode I do, because that dude has really transformed the way this team plays. I think they were wooden spooners last year. So to see them playing in the top 8 this year is unreal. Eagles, on the other hand, though, have been quite disappointing since that Eagles fixture. And now that's 6 losses in a row as of last week. And it's been a bad month and a half for Manly. And for me, I don't think it turns around on Saturday, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I think Knights are going to go win this one 38 points to 12. I have this game being quite comfortable, in my opinion. And I think Fletcher Sharp and Greg Marzu will score tries in this fixture. Now, Saturday 5:30, the Warriors are taking on the Rabbitohs at Accor Stadium. This is always a good fixture to watch, and I encourage everyone to try and get down there to watch this game because it's going to be an absolute blinder of a game, in my opinion. Uh, let's run through the sides here. Dufty at fullback, Alex Johnson and Campbell Graham on the wings, Tallis Duncan and Jack Whiten in the centres. Cody Walker is in the halves with Jaden Sullivan. My laptop is moving a bit slow as I'm scrolling through the team list. Tavita Totola in the front row, Brandon Smith hooker, Keon in the other front row position, David Fafita, the second rower, Ewan Aiken, the other second rower, Cameron Murray at lock forward. If the bench will let me scroll, it looks like that is Jai Gray at 14, Lockie Hubner, Sean Kepi, and Liam LeBlanc, Pete Mamazelos. Yeah. Sorry, my laptop is moving a bit slow for some reason. Edward Cosi in the interchange bench, as well as Thomas Flegler, Latrell Mitchell, and the coach Wayne Bennett in the reserves. So pretty strong team, and obviously my laptop is having a couple of issues with the loading. But let's just talk about the Rabbitohs quickly while my laptop is having a bit of a glitch here. I think the Rabbitohs have been in strong form. You talk about that Parramatta Eagles game, and yeah, they did let a 28-point the difference in that game, but they still got away with that win. And last week against the Doggies, they were quite impressive. So, yeah, very good stuff from the Rabbitohs in that game. The Warriors, on the other hand, though, they're much the same in terms of form as well, I guess, because, the last few weeks, they thrashed the Broncos 40 points to 6 in that game. And, yeah, it was a very strong performance in terms of dominance and making a statement of themselves in this competition. In terms of the week before, where they absolutely made a statement, beating the Panthers, they definitely made the biggest statement of the season with that game, and yeah, it was absolutely unreal to watch. So it's been a good season for the Warriors this year, and I'm very impressed by the Warriors, man, because they've done very well. I didn't expect them to make the finals at the start of the season, obviously with Metcalf's influence and him being out for the entire season, but man, they've done incredibly well. So yeah, big credit to the Wars in this season's campaign, and they could really go all the way and win the competition. Now, if it will let me bloody load, because my laptop is moving a bit slow as today. Time to Apiki is the fullback. Dallin in the wing with Olofiana Camperera, Ali Leotala and Leka Halasima in the centres. Luke Hanson and Chanel Harris Davida, the halves pairings. James Fisher Harris and Wade Egan and Mitch Barnett there in the forward pack. Kurt Capewell, Jacob Laban, Eric Clark, locks and back row. The bench, Sam Healy, Stowers Smith, Vaimonga, Eddie Iramaya Tawava, Adam Pompey, and Morgan Gannon. Reserves, Jet Cleary, Luke Glau, and Mackay Fua. The coach is Andrew Webster. I'm going to go Warriors to win in this game 22 points to 20. And I think it'll be close, but the Wires will come away with it in the end. And I think AKP will score as well as AJ in this fixture. So it's going to be a very good match to watch, and I encourage everyone to watch this game. Sorry, just had to sneeze there, and I didn't want to sneeze on camera. Oh yes, Saturday 7:35. My team, my boys, the St George Illawarra Dragons are versus the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and this is always a very big game. Lots of Dogs fans hate Dragons, the team, uh, but and I like the Bulldogs. Obviously, my mum goes for them, so I have a soft spot for the Dogs. But let's run through the Dragons side, who are coming off 2 wins in a row. Dan Atkinson remains fullback. Matt Feeney and Sloan on the wings. Sully in the centres with Holmes. King Togia and Flanagan the halves. Loko Pacifici Tonga in the front row with Emre Gula, who won't play this week because he's been accepted an immediate release from his contract. So I expect someone else to be in there. Jacob Little, the hooker. Dylan Egan and Hamish Stewart are the back row pairing. Ryan Couchman, lock forward. Damien Cook, Toby Couchman, Jacob Halengahu, Jacob Webster, Setu Tu, Josh Kerr, the interchange bench. The reserves are Blake Laurie, Luciano Leilua, and Cade Reed. The coach, Dean Young. For the Doggies, though, Connor Tracy at fullback, Jacob Kiraz and Anari Tuala are the wing pairing, Matt Burton and Bronson Cherry, the centres, Stephen Crichton and Lockie Galvin in the halves. Max King and Leo Thompson are the front rowers, Bailey Hayward is the hooker, the second row pairing, Viliami Kickout and Jacob Preston, and lock forward, Jamin Salmon. Bench, Kurt Mann, Josh Curran, Harry Hayes, AJ Jones, Jake Turpin, and Sean O'Sullivan. And reserves are Jed Reardon, John Sewer, and Jack Underhill, the coach being Cameron Serrauto. Now, Dragons, I did just say they are coming off back-to-back wins, but that is for the first time in 12 months, and they will be looking to make it 3 in a row as they take on a hungry Bulldogs side who will be looking to respond after 2 losses in a row against the Rabbitohs and the Roosters. Particularly more heartbreaking one would have been that Roosters game, but the Rabbitohs game was just not there, unfortunately, for the Doggies. I'm obviously going to tip the Dragons in this game, but I'm going to go 28 points to 24 in a close game, possibly game of the round contender. I'm going to go Locko Pacifici Tonga to score a try in this game, and I think Tyrell Sloan will go 9 from 9 in terms of try scoring streaks, scoring against the Bulldogs this weekend. I also think Harry Hayes could score for the Bulldogs because whenever Dragons play, there's always a forward that scores, and they're never like very prolific try scorers. They're guys that score once a season. So I think Harry Hayes might get a try on the weekend. But that's it for Saturday. Sunday, 2 p.m., Titans will be taking on the Cronulla Sharks. And let's run through the team list in this game. Sunday, 2 p.m., Titans side goes as Keanu Kinney at fullback, Jalen DeGroot and Philip Sami on the wings, Joseph Fafita, AJ Brimson the centres, Jaden Campbell and Lachlan Ilias in the halves, Mo Fodawaker, Oliver Pascoe and Tino Fasua Malawi in the front row and hooker position, Arama Howe and Bo Fermor in the back row, Cooper Byer lock forward, bench Curtis Moran, Cleese Haas, Chris Randall, Bodie Sharpley, Luke Summerton and Siali Fiamani. Reserves Adam Christensen, Jet Liu and Tony Francis. Coach Josh Hannay. For Sharks, team goes as Will Kennedy at fullback, Katoa and Ronaldo on the wings, Moena Hiroti and Kale Iro in the centres, Niwai Poodle and Nico Hines, the halves pairings, Adam Fanua Blake, Jesse Colhoun in the front row, Blake Brayley hooker, Brendan Nicola and Teague Wilton, the second rowers, and Cam McInnes, the lock forward. Sifa Talakai, Billy Burns, Oregon Kafusi, Tom Hazelton, Hohepa Puru, and Braden Hamlin, Ueli are the bench players. Reserves, Liam Ice and Sam Stonestreet and Toby Rudolph. The coach, Craig Fitzgibbon. And for this game, Sharks, they've lost 2 in a row now, and Trindle being out is huge, man. But I think in this game, they'll be able to get the job done against the Titans. I'm going to go the Sharks to win 32 points to 20. I think it'll be close, but I do think the Sharks will get the job done. And I think Mulatalo will score a double in this game. Let's move on to the last game of the round where the West Tigers take on the Sydney Roosters. Now, Roosters side, James Tedesco at fullback, Billy Smith and Marky Mark on the wings, Hugo and Robbie Toya on the centres, Daly Cherry Evans, Sam Walker the halves, Nafahu White and Spencer Lenu in the front row, Reece Robson, Hooker, Foketi, C.Y. Wong, the second rowers, Victor Raleigh is the lock forward, and the bench is Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Butcher, Matt Butcher, Egan Butcher, Cody Ramsey, Tommy Talau, and the reserves, Rex Bassett the weight, Benai Ioelu, and Taylor Salu, coach Trent Robinson. For the Tigers, though, Jareen Buller at fullback, Junior Tupou and Jarrell Skelton on the wings, Solomon Salkuru, who had an amazing debut against the Dragons, Patrick Herbert in the centres, Jerome Luai, Jock Madden in the halves, Terrell May and Fanua Pole in the front rowers, Api Coruscant the hooker, Samuela Fainu and Tony Suka, the second row pairing, Alex Twell, the lock forward, the bench, Heath Mason, Sione Fainu, Alex Seyfarth, Bunty Afoa, Tristan Hope, and Sunia Taruva, who got dropped to the interchange bench, probably because of the risk of his injury that he had on the weekend. Javon Andrews, Charlie Murray, Tino Tavana, reserves, and Benji the coach. Now, wouldn't it be hilarious if Tigers finally won and broke their losing streak against the top team in the competition? And it's not only that, it's the fact that Roosters are on a bit of a streak of their own in terms of winning. But if that happened, I'd find it absolutely astonishing, and it'd absolutely make my day because it'd just be funny to see. But I don't think that happens on Sunday afternoon. I think Roosters continue their winning streak and win quite comfortably, 46 points to 16. I'm going to go Mark to score and Robert Toya to score a try as well. So that's it for my tipping video in round 25. I hope you enjoyed it. Another Beyond the Tryline podcast episode. Today is episode 35. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and goodbye.